I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Pat, can I have the roll call, please?
Mr. Birdsong.
Here.
Mr. Fox.
Here.
Mr. Floral.
Here.
Ms. Galloway. Here. Mrs. Miller. Here. Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Storm. Here. Mrs. Storm says yes. Thank you. She's a mistress. Offer in England. Mr. Chairman, there are 7 board members present, therefore there is a quorum.
Good thing. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the prior board meeting from February 28th, 2019?
Mr. President, I'll move to approve those minutes for February 28th.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We appreciate the fact that Mayor Foster has committed to come and talk to us today, so I'll turn the podium over to him and see what he has to tell us.
Thanks for having me out here today. I do appreciate it. Just want to come give you an update on a few items of interest on county government. I am very pleased to announce we do have our HR director in place now. Her name is Brooke Schaefer. We are already seeing improvements with her. We're working on redoing all the county general policies and procedures. It's a large undertaking, but I do believe we got the right person for the job in there. I believe I mentioned before the census and the complete count committee. I've talked to the census again, and they have told me that this is not going to be an online only census, which was our concern. They are still going to take the paper census, but it's still extremely important that we get as good a count as possible. So Beth, who's here with me, she's my office manager. She's helping me organize the complete count committee. So that's going to be started up in April, and we're going to definitely want participation from Fairfield Lake to help us get that committee going. The county budget process is underway. Request for due on the 25th of this month. I believe the first scheduled meeting of the budget committee is going to be in early May, so be aware of that. Update on our volunteer first responder program. It's countywide. It's under the county's fire department. At the last count, I believe there were 3 from the Fairfield Lake area that's going to participate to start, and more that are wanting to start. There's about 30 volunteers across the county. They're working on putting a class together to get more people trained and more people involved, but it should be ready to go for state certification in mid-April. I don't know how long exactly the certification process will take, but that's where it should go. April 6th is a countywide smoke detector sweep. There are designated areas all across the county. The city, the county fire department, and the Fairfield Lake Fire Department are going to have up to, I believe it's 2,000 smoke detectors that they're going to get out across the county, and that is April the 6th. You may have heard about my broadband survey. I don't know, we've got a little bit of a problem in a lot of the parts of the county with broadband here. And there's a survey on the county website, CumberlandCountyTN.gov, and there's a link that just says broadband survey. If you would go and fill that out, I have some plans for using that. I need good and bad responses, so if you've got good internet, do it anyway. And the last thing I have is, I believe our first meeting with the government committee is tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that. So that's in the morning, and looking forward to see y'all there. If there's any questions, if y'all want to have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Can you update us on that prepared food tax?
I talked to the legal team for the state of Tennessee, and it's on pretty shaky ground. I don't think it's going to pass, but there's no official word yet.
There's a social media website called Nextdoor, and there have been a couple of questions that have been posed and conversations that people are engaged in. And I thought as mayor of Cumberland County, you would be best qualified to answer these questions. But are you aware of the fact that, I'm sorry?
I hope so. What's that?
Is there a leash law here in the state of Tennessee?
There is one, I don't know exactly what it is, but there is one that they have to follow. We have one animal control officer that tries to apply that for this whole county, and he basically has to see the dog running with us before he can even write anything up. But there is one statewide,
Okay.
and we can't, the county cannot adopt an ordinance like the city can to change it. It would have to be changed at the state level.
That was my next question. So if you can't enact one of your own, then I assume then that the community of Fairfield Glade would be unable to do that as well.
I don't think that they would have the authority to do that's correct.
Okay. And the second question that was posed on that website was, there's a lot of chitter chatter about a Publix coming to Crossville. And I said, let's ask somebody that actually knows.
I cannot confirm or deny that. I will say this, there are multiple people looking at Cumberland County for retail. We may get some of them, we may get none of them. It's just one of those things. A large part of it depends on incentives for some of the retail and if it can be worked out. But there are some different opportunities for multiple different things at retail in Cumberland County.
My last question is, I know that Interstate Drive is supposed to be widened at some point in time. Is that going to be something that the county road department is going to undertake, or is that going to be given to a subcontractor?
That will be, I believe that's going to be part of the Northwest Connector and all that, and that is a state project. TDOT will do it. I know the city is acquiring some of the land through that pathway now. So it actually ends up being a state project, is my understanding, in conjunction with the city of Crossville.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Yes.
I know there's been some criticism of the board regarding emergency services, ambulance, saying that we should do a better job here of getting more response. I've also heard that there's a county ordinance controlling who can offer emergency services. Can you clarify that?
There is a resolution that sets minimum standards for how many substations you would have to have. An ambulance company couldn't just come in to Fairfield. They would have to have, I want to say it's 6 stations across the county. They have to have a place to pay a bill here. There are certain regulations like that. There is a resolution there. Now, if anybody that can meet all those criteria, they can do it though.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Next on the agenda is county commissioners. I reached out to our county commissioners. I think it's, we'd like to ask them to come to these meetings and possibly field some questions you may have, make some comments. So Carl McLeod is one of our 2 county commissioners, and he's offered to be here today. So we'll give the podium to Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
John wanted me to reach out to everybody and let you know that he couldn't make it. He had a conflict of appointments. So, but I'm here. I think the mayor has covered most everything that's going on. But is there any questions that you may have of me, and you want to not address them here and address them later? You can get with me and get my contact information. I'll take that.
That was short. The rest of the meeting goes that way. We're in good shape. President's report. Before I get started in this, I wanted to explain, I guess to tell you the truth, quite honestly, I didn't realize we still referred to it as a president's report. About 6-7 months ago, we changed this to across the board because this report, just to make it clear, is not totally mine. This is a collaboration of the entire board. So it's not, some of the things, usually what I do is I get the ball rolling with an idea, but then I reach out to the entire board to put some things into this. So for across the board, that's one heck of a tree. The other day, Sharon and I went to the stables to check things out. I had forgotten that we are blessed with the second oldest sycamore tree in the state. The fact that it is in an open field makes this mighty tree even more distinct, since sycamores usually grow near streams or riverbeds. I don't know how many board feet of lumber it represents, but the tree stands 94 feet tall, 16 feet in circumference, with a crown spread of 165 feet. It was planted from a branch taken from Big Daddy's Creek in 1864. This mighty sycamore provides a majestic setting for our Wildwood stables here in Fairfield Glade. Check it out if you have not been there. What does the board really do? Over the last few weeks, posts have appeared in social media discussing the Fairfield Glade Board. What it does is supposed to do in the administration of Fairfield Glade Community Club. These posts have led us to conclude that the duties and expectations of the board are in some cases misunderstood by a segment of our members. In the next few weeks, we will make an effort to answer and clarify the misconceptions we find. We'd like to begin the process by publishing the following list compiled by the board in 2014, along with a few updates. Duties of the board. Number 1, set the strategic direction for the Fairfield Glade Community Club to garner a larger market share of baby boomers looking for a resort retirement lifestyle. 2, encourage the residential development of Fairfield Glade Community Club as a desirable and viable resort retirement community. 3, govern the business and affairs of the Fairfield Glade Community Club. Governance, not operations. Number 4, safeguard the major assets of the Fairfield Glade Community Club. 5, act on behalf of its members, making overall policy decisions. 6, ensure that Fairfield Glade Community Club operates in a fiscally sound manner, has mechanisms in place to keep it fiscally sound. 7, approve the annual budget. 8, hire the general manager. And 9, oversee the work of the general manager and make sure that the Fairfield Glade Community Club is faithfully carrying out its purpose without extravagance or waste. As you can see, your board does not get into smaller details of operation, such as what is charged for rental space at the square on any given day, or the size of signs on our buildings, etc. That's why we hire a general manager, who in turn hires senior managers. We are focused on major issues that affect the strategic direction of our communities, or community. We are here to listen to members' concerns and try to find answers to the questions. However, the operations are left to our management team and not dealt directly with by the board. This is just the beginning of the Board 101 program. Knowledge is a tool, and like all tools, its impact is in the hands of the user. We have talked about the advantage of the newly developed Nextdoor website here in the Glade. Like any tool, if it is used for its intended purpose, it's a positive. But as always, when any tool is used for the purpose it's not intended, it can create more problems than help, like using a screwdriver to chip paint. Recently, we have noticed that this website has been moving from its design purpose, that of helping our neighbors, to one of distributing incorrect information. It is easy for a rumor to become fact and lies to become truth on this site. So we ask that if you see this happening, please contact those in the know to get the actual facts, just like Ray this morning. Let us be clear. Let us is L-E-T-T-U-S. There has been some concern about the farmer's market at the square. Let's be perfectly clear. That farmer's market is not something that the community club runs. We merely provide them the space and do not charge for that space. It is run by the Cumberland County Farmers, I believe it's co-op, it may be Alliance, which also runs the farmers market in town next to the fairgrounds. Any concerns about this market should be directed to this co-op and not the community club. While we don't charge the co-op for the farmers or the farmers for the space, the co-op does contribute towards the cost of the portable toilets. I guess that's a false. When we know, you will know. During the last few weeks, there have been occurrences in our area that have been upsetting to some of our residents. The controlled burn on state land surrounding Fairfield Glade is a prime example. It came without prior notice or warning, and it caused there was a cause back up on Peavine Road the other day. Please understand that we are not privy to all governmental or private sector actions taking place in our area, nor are we notified, unfortunately, prior to these events taking place. We have asked to be included in the loop when such information is distributed. However, this is not always possible or the top priority among those making these decisions. Please be assured we have asked to be notified, and when we are, you will know. The survey is in. The results from the majority of the survey were released last week. This is the food and beverage survey, excuse me. With the results of the comment section to follow. There were 1,313 surveys that contained comments. These comments were separated into categories, 11 in all, and then summarized by similar subjects. The results for this part of the survey can be found on our website and will also be in next week's Magnified. I'd like to also thank Jeannie. She read every comment, and I have no idea how you have that much time, but thank you very much. One final thing I wanted to mention, we found out yesterday, and I don't know if Mike can confirm this, I think he can. Apparently the speed limit on Peavine Road has been changed during in the construction zone. It's now 35 miles an hour, not 45. So just so you're aware of that, I think we're going to put something out probably today to the entire community on that. But and again, that's one of those things that, to tell you the truth, I found out about it yesterday because I got a text during the board meeting from my wife saying she was being tailgated down Peavine Road. Because Sharon is one of those that, unlike myself, when the speed limit is 35, I drive 40. When the speed limit is 35, she drives 30. So, and she's saying no, she doesn't, so I'm sorry. That's it from across the board. Thank you. Yes, Rick.
Since you brought up the Peavine Road widening project, I do have something to add to that. Mary Jo Page had posed a question relative to the intersection at Peavine and Stonehenge Drive, Eagle Lane, and she was concerned about what the status was going to be by Memorial Day weekend when they have a very large concert planned. And I did reach out to TDOT, and this is what his response was. This is David Bradley. Without making guarantees, I'm expecting the possibility that the traffic signal will be up and running at Stonehenge by Memorial Day. And he did also say that otherwise we will clean up the intersection by having drones maintained in an orderly arrangement to help the flow of traffic. If necessary, I would like to think that David, meaning David Bradley of TDOT, will allow additional signage and or pavement parking at the intersection to help. So hopefully that's good news.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I will admit, when you think about the scope of that project and the amount of interruption we have had in the community, it really has been pretty good. You know, it's mind-boggling to me that you can do that, and really, I can only think of maybe 2 or 3 times when traffic is really backed up to any great extent. So I think they're doing a great job, but I do think we're going to see more of that, simply because of the nature of the beast and the blacktopping that's going on and so on. But is it exciting to see that thing go through? It's going to be one heck of a road. Okay, General Manager's report, Bob. Also on that subject, I was talking with Todd Nash earlier this week, and they've done a lot of paving now, and he anticipates that he'll be moving traffic to the new pavement here in the next 30 to 60 days. So just be on the lookout. The traffic patterns probably will change within the next 30 to 60 days, and especially if they get the traffic signals up, that'll have an impact as well. So just be aware. Okay. First of all, the new police department building. The handicap parking area pad is complete, but we still need to put up signs and do the painting on the concrete. So it'll be a while before that's totally ready for use. Additionally, we're going to extend the retainer wall and also add some steps there to make it easier for people that are coming directly from the parking lot, so they don't have to walk through the handicap parking area. So you'll basically have two access points. So that's all in the works. Generator for the building is on order, so I hope to get that installed here within the next 30 days. Now, with all the rain this year, we've had an accumulation of groundwater in the low points of the parking lot, and asphalt has actually gotten real soft and has been torn up. So we're exploring the idea of doing a rain garden in the low points of the parking lot. That will break up the parking lot as well as retain the groundwater and surface water a lot better. So actually I view this as a blessing in disguise. You won't have a sea of asphalt back there. You'll have some greenery, some green space, maybe even a place where, put some picnic tables, what have you. So actually I think it'll make that parking lot look a lot nicer and less expensive than having to repave that area of the parking lot as well. The Stonehenge Turf Care Center, we're hoping to get a temporary CO for the storage part of the building here soon, recognizing we open up the golf course next Monday, April 1st, and we still have some maintenance equipment in the bottom of the clubhouse. And Jeff Houston has a lot of new carts that he'd like to store all of them under the clubhouse, but for now we'll store what we can. So we're working with the contractor and the inspector to get that accomplished as soon as possible. The complete building probably won't be done until middle of April at the earliest, and maybe closer to May 1st. So that's the office space and what have you. So we've got contingency plans, and I think everything will be fine. Some deferred maintenance, the lake desilting process. We hope to get that underway in late May. We're waiting on the TDEC approval for that, and then coordinating with the contractor. So probably the earliest contractor can get in is late May. Dartmoor is one of the lakes that we're doing, so we've got to work around the marina and all that. So we'll have more probably next month. For Scott Blaylock, the county road superintendent, he does plan to start some chip and seal in Fairfield Glade before June 30th. That's actually the roads that we gave him last year in order for him to do in this fiscal year. That is the fiscal year of the county, which ends June 30th. So we hope to see that done. Then we'll have another list for them for this calendar year that they would do after July 1st in their new budget year. Golf rounds through last month were 3,900. That was 370 more than budget and 420 more than 2018, thanks to better weather this year. Although we've had a lot more rain this year than last year, it all happened in like one day, so we didn't have some ice. So we actually had more days open this year than we had last year, so that helped with the golf round. So that worked out well. Due to staffing issues, effective April 1st, Stonehenge Grill will be the only venue serving a la carte breakfast and lunch. So right now it's at Legends. Effective April 1st, breakfast and lunch is going to move over to Stonehenge Grill. Legends will continue to serve the Sunday breakfast buffet from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and they'll be open evenings, Tuesday through Saturday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Additionally, to better serve our customers and try and keep our labor costs to a minimum, we're going to require reservations for all events. That includes chicken and pasta and steak night. One of our big issues from a financial standpoint is labor cost. That's where the real issue is. So if we can have more reservations, we can control the labor a lot better. So encourage y'all to make reservations for all special events. We're not going to require it for a la carte dining, but I would suggest you do that. That will definitely help us, and I think it'll help the service as well. And that's all I have. Okay, thank you, Bob. Resort report, Barbara.
Good morning. The Wyndham timeshare revenues with food, and the year-to-date totals include just January and February. The conference center is $420, which is 1% of department revenue. Racket sports, $1,613, which is 5%. The marinas were closed in January and February. Golf, $907, which is only 0%. And food is $3,979, which is 3%, for a total of $6,918, which is 2%. Timeshare visitors for the month of March so far is 651, and year-to-date totals are 2,979. And I was told this morning that the timeshare visitors have increased starting this week. They're at 70% occupancy, and it will continue to increase through the summer and fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Bill Murphy, Architectural Control Committee. I was in the Nashville airport the other day, Bill, and I'm glad to see you're branching out with a little catchphrase. I noticed the BMW car was sitting there and it says, "Living the dream."
Got a BMW, you can live the dream.
So you're sharing it. I appreciate it.
I was asked the other day if I wore sunglasses when I went in the closet because of the shirt. I said no, but I don't have to turn the light on. Miscellaneous approvals, changes to existing homes. Through February of 19, 132. Through February of 18, 134. And again, we've had a little bit better weather, but those days of heavy rain kind of impact us. New homes improved through February of 19, 15, through 18, 20. A little behind there, but I'm talking to a couple of builders. There's going to be a big rush coming here soon. New homes started through 19, 12, 14 through 18, and new homes completed 11 through 2019, 10 and 2018.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Question?
Appreciate it. Before we get to Denise, is Bobby still back there? Bobby Smith?
He just got a call yet.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, he was not on the agenda, but I didn't know if he wanted to add anything. Okay, financial report, Denise.
Good morning. Okay, start with the balance sheet. Our overall, the club's still very strong financially. If you take a look at your balance sheet that was in the handout, you'll notice that sewer cash is at $2 million. Their property, plant, and equipment is at $11.3 million, and equity is at $12.5 million. If you switch over to further to the right, you'll see that the POA and amenities, their cash is at $4.4 million, and the property, plant, and equipment at $34.6 million, and equity at $33.9 million. Then if you now switch over to the statement that's called it's cash flow from operations and capital activities. If you come all the way to the bottom, there's a line down there for sewer, and sewer from results from operating activities is positive $94,000, and to budget they're a positive $2,000 or 2.8 to budget. Then if you come back, I'm trying to make this a little clearer because this report combines a couple of different statements to try to give you an overall consolidated look. But if you come to dues from G&A and gross profit and the G&A expenses, that's going to be more of your capital in that area. You'll see that we're still in a positive position. The first line, you'll see the negative 18,000 just for the profit, the gross profit and dues. And then you'll see the G&A expenses are positive 45,000. Doing good there. But overall, if we just look at Amenities. You come down to. Get off sewer. Go to, on the second page of the notes. We're gonna come down to POA and amenities. The results from operating activities are 113,000, which are a negative 13,000 variance to budget. The capital is 429,000, which is a negative variance